Good evening. The Philippine Coast Guard says it will intensify patrols in Ayungin Shoal in the West Philippine Sea following the China Coast Guard's use of water cannons against Philippine vessels. In a television interview, PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tariela, says that the PCG will ramp up patrol efforts in Ayungin Shoal. The PCG earlier reported that the China Coast Guard fired water cannons at Philippine vessels delivering supplies to troops on the BRP Sierra Madre in Ayungin. Tariela says that the PCG was escorting charter boats used by the Armed Forces of the Philippines for its resupply missions when the incident occurred last Saturday. He adds that the PCG will look into deploying larger vessels to support the AFP's resupply missions to BRP Sierra Madre. The National Bureau of Investigation reveals that the bone found inside a septic tank within the maximum security compound of the new believed person is not of human origin, as it's consistent with a chicken leg bone. Justice Secretary Boying Remula previously claimed that the remains of missing inmate Michael Angelo Cataroha were found inside of the septic tank of the Bureau of Corrections. In a Senate hearing, NBI Medical Legal Officer Dr. Annalyn Dadis says they concluded that the bone was not of human origin after a process of forensic identification.
What do you mean if it's not of human origin? Hindi buto ng tao?
Hindi po.
Ano yan? Na DNA na yan? Na forensics yan?
We conducted the process of forensic identification. Through this process, we made use of elimination and comparison. And we concluded that it is not of human origin, Your Honor. In all likelihood, through the process of comparison, it is consistent with chicken leg bone.
In the same hearing, BuCor Chief Director General Gregorio Catapang Jr. says that Cataroha may have actually escaped, noting the missing inmate's skill as a car thief. For this part, Senator Bato de la Rosa chides Catapang over his theory, underscoring the probability that Cataroha could have escaped the NBP's maximum security compound.
Malaki po ang kutob ko na nakatakas kasi si Katohano. Ang kaso po niyan magnanakaw ng mga sasakyan.
Kung si Cataroha ay posibleng nakalayas, sir, this is maximum security compound. Pag sinabi natin maximum security, talagang in and out. Panahon ko, pati tangke ng truck na nag-deliver ng basura, pinapatusok-tusok ko pa yan kung parsigurado tayo.
The boat captain of MV Princess Aya admits gifting Philippine Coast Guard personnel with bananas and 50 pesos to operate the vessel despite violations. In a Senate hearing, Senator Raffy Tulfo asks Anain how he was able to sail despite clearly violating maritime rules such as overloading and the absence of a boating license.
Sir, kasi magkailangan po, magdadala ka po ng kahit alin pong ano pa.
In goods, in kind.
Opo.
So, pampangiti, pwedeng alak, sinapay, sigarilyo, okay.
Sir, bumili lang po ako ng 100 pesos na saging. Nauna po ako, sir, sa
Saging?
pila. Opo. Tsaka po yung 50 pesos na money po, sir.
Ano ba?
Merienda.
Anain says he was able to get the PCG's approval and signature after he gave the gifts, allowing him to operate the ill-fated MV Princess Aya and leave the port freely. The capsizing of MV Princess Aya in Laguna de Bay on July 25 led to the deaths of 27 people. PCG Commandant Artemio Abu says there were clear lapses on their part of the personnel, adding that those who were involved in the port operations have been relieved from their posts.
One thing is certain, there was negligence on the part of our people. And we are brave enough to accept the consequences of our actions. Relieve natin sila. The substation commander, yung actual na hindi nag-inspect, na hindi nagtingin doon sa barko, at yung kanyang immediate supervisor. Mayroon na po tayong sanction.
Gilas Filipinas naturalized ace Jordan Clarkson arrived in Manila Tuesday morning ahead of the FIBA World Cup. Following a 15-hour trip from Los Angeles, Clarkson tells reporters he was feeling optimistic about Gilas' FIBA World Cup bid. Gilas coach Chot Reyes said in an earlier interview that the Gilas Brain Trust is hoping to reintegrate the Utah Jazz star into the national program on Wednesday. Clarkson, who's returning for a third tour of duty for the Philippines, is set to be on the cutting edge of Gilas once the global meet unfurls on August 25. Gilas Pilipinas is bunched with the Dominican Republic, Angola, and Italy in the Group A of the showcase that will also serve as the qualifying tournament for the Paris Olympics next year. Here's the latest roundup of today's top stories. Philippine Coast Guard to intensify patrols in Ayungin Shoal in the West Philippine Sea following the China Coast Guard's water cannon attack. Boat captain of sunken motor bangka Princess Aya admits gifting Philippine Coast Guard with bananas and 50 pesos to operate the vessel despite violations. PCG admits lapses in their part. And Utah Jazz guard Jordan Clarkson arrives in Manila to join Gilas Filipinas' preparation for the FIBA World Cup. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Jean Mangaluz. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net.